For decades, Ethiopia has navigated the international seas through the courtesy of its neighbor, Djibouti, and paid a hefty $1.5 billion annually for the privilege. But despite economic challenges and internal conflicts, the new Ethiopian Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, has set his sights on the maritime horizon. In his quest, on January 4, 2024, Abiy Ahmed, accompanied by Muse Bihi Abdi, president of the self-declared Somaliland, made headlines by announcing a memorandum of understanding. In this geopolitical bombshell, Ethiopia seemed to have been given access to a 12-mile stretch of Somaliland's coastline by the port of Berbera. The deal aims to lease a part of Somaliland to Ethiopia and, in return, gain some diplomatic recognition from Addis Ababa. However, this action has already led to the development of tension within the Somalia government, thus increasing tension in an already geopolitically tense region of the Horn of Africa. These bring us to the burning question on everyone's minds: could this seemingly innocuous agreement lead to a full-blown conflict in the Horn of Africa? To answer this question, let's first explore the region's geopolitical landscape. The Gulf of Aden is a vital waterway that's been turning heads since the Suez Canal opened in 1869. Because it's the express lane connecting Asia to Europe, and in our story, the key player is Somaliland, snuggled right there on the southern coast. But hold on, it's not all calm seas and smooth sailing. The Gulf has been making headlines recently due to a series of attacks by Houthi rebels in Yemen. Major shipping companies even hit a pause on Red Sea transits, leaving everyone wondering about the vulnerability of this crucial route. In this tempestuous backdrop, cue our protagonists, Ethiopia, which is landlocked and dreaming of waves, and Somaliland, with a coastline as precious as gold. Therefore, on January 4, 2024, they dropped a geopolitical bombshell, a deal that raised eyebrows, heart rates, and more than a few questions. Ethiopia gets a slice of Somaliland's coastline, and in return, Somaliland might just snag something even shinier: diplomatic recognition from Ethiopia. The Ethiopia Somaliland Port Access Deal. To understand this blockbuster deal, let's time travel a bit. Back in the 80s, Ethiopia was Somaliland's ally during its struggle for independence. But things got complicated when Eritrea gained independence, leaving Ethiopia landlocked. Fast forward to 1998, when Ethiopia lost access to Eritrea's ports in a border war that left scars and claimed 70,000 lives. Since then, Ethiopia has been relying on Djibouti's ports, but the hefty fees have had them eyeing other neighboring countries that own seaports like Sudan, Somaliland, and Kenya since the mid-2000s. Furthermore, back in 2005, Ethiopia and Somaliland started talking port business. But logistical headaches and Mogadishu's disapproval kept Addis Ababa from making a full switch from Djibouti. In 2017, in a glimmer of hope, Ethiopia got a stake in Berbera port through a deal with DP World, aiming to turn it into a trade hub for 119 million Ethiopians. However, as expected, Somalia wasn't thrilled and called it illegal, and Ethiopia eventually lost its stake by 2022. However, amidst all opposition, fast forward to 2024, an Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Somaliland's leader, Muse Bihi Abdi, signed a historic agreement in Addis Ababa, whereby Ethiopia gets a 50-year lease on a naval base with access to Berbera port for commercial marine operations. In return, they promise a deep dive into Somaliland's bid for international recognition, a first in diplomatic history. Overall, Ethiopia claims it's a historic deal that diversifies its port access while deepening economic and political ties, while Somaliland is eyeing that official recognition and a piece of Ethiopia's national airline, Ethiopian Airlines. Potential impact. Before we plunge into the storm, let's set the stage. Somaliland, a self-ruling enclave birthed from the chaos of Somalia's struggles, proudly stands as a beacon of stability in the turbulent Horn of Africa. Though not internationally recognized, it has its currency, political institutions, and a reputation for relative calm. However, all is about to change with the Ethiopia Somaliland Port Access Deal, a potential game-changer for Somaliland. The hope is that this alliance might open doors to international recognition. With Ethiopia leading the way, Somaliland dreams of a domino effect across Africa. But wait, there's more to this deal than just maritime access. Ethiopia, facing financial constraints, sweetens the pot by offering Somaliland a stake in its national airline. However, in response to the deal, Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, is a cauldron of fury. In the wake of the deal, the Somali ambassador in Addis Ababa was recalled, protests erupted, and President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud signed a symbolic bill, nullifying the agreement. However, this action leaves Somalia grappling with its toothless authority over Somaliland's de facto independence. Additionally, international heavyweights are entering the ring. The European Union, African Union, Arab League, and Organization of Islamic Countries throw their weight behind Somalia, urging Ethiopia to pump the brakes. Even the United States, Britain, Turkey, and a lineup of other nations echo the call for dialogue, respecting Somalia's sovereignty. Possible escalation to conflict. The entire Red Sea and Gulf of Aden coastline, from Suez to Somalia, is a hotbed of global power plays. The US, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the UAE have all set up military bases, turning this region into a chessboard of strategic moves. Notably, the deal with Somaliland offers a lifeline and a direct path to the sea, diversifying Ethiopia's trade routes and reducing its dependence on Djibouti. But this move could escalate tensions in the already volatile Horn of Africa. The deal not only has the potential to disrupt maritime stability but could also set the stage for conflict on land. Somalia, already grappling with internal issues, may feel the pressure to respond. But, truth be told, Somalia's military muscle is limited as it has a 20,000-strong army that, if war occurs, would face off against Ethiopia's 130,000 soldiers, and this situation is dire if you take into consideration the ongoing battles against Al-Shabaab and territorial struggles. Now, the million-dollar question: could this lead to war? The tension is real, but as of now, there's no talk of armed conflict. Diplomacy hangs in the balance. However, international actors are weighing in with fears of a prolonged rift between Ethiopia and Somalia. The history of territorial conflict, coupled with domestic instability, paints a grim picture. Conclusion. In a nutshell, Ethiopia, hungry for a sea breeze, struck a deal with Somaliland, granting it access to the coveted Berbera port. Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopia's prime minister, argues it's not about coercion but about diversifying trade routes. But critics fear Abiy's regional dominance aspirations, while supporters see it as a lifeline for Ethiopia's battered economy. The million-dollar question: will this lead to war? Some argue it's a win-win, a diplomatic dance respecting the reality on the ground. Abiy, facing internal strife, may find political solace in this maritime milestone. Analysts foresee domestic gains, but the region's fragile stability is at stake. Notably, Somalilanders hit the streets in celebration, envisioning international recognition and economic prosperity beyond Mogadishu's shadow. Yet, cautious optimism lingers. Uncertainties loom, tied to global power support or opposition. Somalia, in response, has cut ties with Ethiopia, labeling the port deal illegal. It's a chess game with legal moves and diplomatic gambits. Overall, in the complex web of geopolitics, perspectives clash with concerns over rising tensions, yet some analysts see it as a win-win grounded in reality, not theories. As we navigate these turbulent waters, do you see this as a diplomatic breakthrough or a powder keg ready to explode? Drop your comments below. Hit that subscribe button for more geopolitical explorations, and let's keep the conversation alive. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.